If you want to feel like a real artist at home, this is the video for you. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Abby. If you're new here, welcome. I have been a model for the past 10 years. I've made little videos here and there sharing things that I have learned from makeup artists on set. Instead of being a model who sits on my phone and is totally tapped out during the process, I'm so involved. I was the girl back in 2000s watching the YouTube videos with the MAC ombre lips and the whole eyes, and I loved watching people do their makeup. So here we are. A lot of us forget that doing our makeup can be fun, it can be creative, it can be playful. We can have different tools that make it feel like we're doing something that's more of an art than just doing our makeup in 5 minutes and running out the door. This is the makeup look we're going to be creating. We have so much to go through, so here are all of the things. You immediately know if a makeup artist knows what they're doing on set if they prep your skin first. It's so important. I feel like it's skipped. Some people go above and beyond and give me a full facial massage. And for me, I'm trying to motivate you at home to do your makeup intentionally and to feel really good about it. That is the message in my videos. So if I can get you to take an extra second to pamper yourself so that you feel really good, that's my goal. You kind of glow a little bit more if you feel good about yourself. So we're going to start off by exfoliating our skin with the Your Favorite X exfoliating pads from Wise Beauty. I talk about them a lot. They're perfect little individual pads, and basically it has a little hole in it for your fingers, and you can take it around your nose area, in your forehead, gently just swipe it across. Get rid of any type of texture or debris or things that are just sitting on your skin. This is one of my favorite face mists that I have. Honestly, love any, I have so many. This one is from Edem, and it's a calming rescue mist. So just hydrating the skin a little bit with this and then moving on to the next step. Now, depending on the person's skin type will depend on what products we end up using. This is the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base. I'm very aware of the price tag, and I'm not saying you need to buy this. I'm saying I have it. I'm saying makeup artists use it. I'm saying it's a really good primer that's really moisturizing, similar to the Magic Cream from Charlotte Tilbury. But if it's a little bit too heavy, if you have oily skin and this is just too much moisture for you, we want to use something that's more like milk, something that's going to soak in really quickly, something that's going to make the skin just look really hydrated. I'm actually going to use the Bobbi Brown because I'm going to be testing out a new foundation in this video that just arrived at my house, and I'm really excited. It's from Westman Atelier, so we're going to test it out in real time together. But I'll just take a very light layer of the Bobbi Brown, and it smells so good. Primer hydrates the skin. I'm going to be using the Paula's Choice Lip Peptide to prep my lips. Always in the very beginning, get yourself a really heavy duty, thick, hydrating lip product. This is one of my favorites. I thought about making a video of my favorite lip products because I'm very picky and I don't like them to be sticky or too fragranced or too oily or, doesn't work. I want the ones that work, that if I was going on a trip, these are the ones I would bring kind of video, because I just have so many, and so many I find I take on my trips and I'm like, ugh, it doesn't really work. My lips are always chapped, whatever. So I want to show you guys my hero lip products in another video. If you're interested, please comment below and let me know, and I can make that for you. This is something I learned from being a model. If you are going to get your photo taken and you are wearing a bunch of SPF, you could create a really bad white cast on your skin. If it's zinc mineral SPF, it probably will reflect the light, which will make your face look ghostly, which is not what we want. So what I learned is using a chemical SPF in photography is kind of the only way. This is a Korean line, Beauty of Joseon, and I'm obsessed with this SPF. It is SPF 50 from Beauty of Joseon. Asian markets make the best SPF. Now that our skin is fully prepped, moving on to foundation. I have a brand new box from Westman Atelier. This is stunning, by the way. This is their new foundation, and I'm excited to give it a whirl. This is the Supreme Bio Complexion Liquid Foundation, Atelier L2. So this is disgusting. I need to clean this. This is a little clear palette, and it almost feels like a painter's kit because, we're artists, we're creating, it's fun. Think about that. If you're doing your makeup and you are like, oh, I hate doing this, maybe think of it differently and be excited to create and see what your face can look like and how beautiful you can feel. To me, I just really enjoy that entire process. So I'm just going to take a pump of this Westman Atelier foundation, maybe two, just to see. My third tip is to always mix things, whether it's your colors, whether it's your bronzers, whether it's your foundations or your bases, whatever. Because makeup artists have such a huge collection of product and everyone is different, it doesn't mean that the marketed colors are like all perfect for you. So be the artist, create the color, make it work, make it make sense. You buy a foundation that's a little bit too light, get something like this. These are the Westman Atelier bronzing drops, and just take a drop, put it in, mix it up, see if it matches. This might be a little bit too light because my tan on my body is so much darker than my face. Work it into the brush, work it off of the brush, and then go on the skin and kind of stipple it on. Just try not to like go in circles, but you want to press it into the skin. A lot of people like swipe it around. Like, of course it's gonna be streaky. And if anything, it's still a little bit too light. So I'm gonna add another drop to my palette, mix it in, put it on. It's amazing to me that I'm still on set and I'm still seeing makeup artists teaching me new things that I did not know before. And it's really cool. Okay, I love this foundation. It's looking very beautiful, very natural, very easy. It feels like it also has a good grip to it. Like, it doesn't feel like it's gonna move around. It feels like it's gonna dry down beautifully. I kind of feel like mixing it up now and not just sticking with what I know every single time and using the exact same colors, the exact same contours, and the exact same. I have my favorites, and you guys know what those are. Usually I'd be using my Westman Atelier contour stick in color Biscuit. It's the best cool toned contour that I use. But I'm gonna try using color Sand from Say. This used to be one of my favorite ones, so why not use it? This is my favorite Holy Grail brush that I own, the Makeup by Mario F4 brush, dual-ended. I love to use the wider side for the contour. So just picking it up, again, working it into the brush, and then onto almost the cheekbone, not too low, not too high. This one is not that pigmented, but that's okay. Makeup artists will never do what influencers, including myself, will do in these videos because it looks more entertaining. They will never put it directly on the face. They will always work it in onto the palette, mix it together, work it on the face. So it's a process. Makeup artist Nikki LaRose is somebody who did my makeup multiple times on set, and she holds the brush like this, almost like a pencil, like it's different. She doesn't hold it like this, she holds it like this. And I do feel like it does have a different kind of control that I really enjoy. So I love warming up the skin like this, and she also talks about holding it further back versus like super close. Okay, now my face feels nice and bronzed and glowy. Today's concealer of choice is the House Labs. I hear so much hype about it and I've just continued to overlook it. Color I use is Light Neutral 13. If you're like, what color are you? It's almost always the neutral, light medium. The Nikki LaRose N16. Going into the product again, up into the under eye. And this is where I want to be really careful and explain this to you. Not globbing on the concealer, making this little triangle and blending it out. I'm gonna go in under the eye, work it in to the skin, and we're gonna leave it there. We're not gonna like perfectly blend it out right now. I just want you to see what it looks like without going all the way up into the under eye. This area right here where we have a lot of these folds, we want to avoid putting a lot of product there because we just simply don't need it there. I always take my concealer onto my lids. I have really red, veiny eyelids. And then the next thing that makeup artists would love to do more of, but I feel like a lot of them opt out, they use their fingers. And a couple of them really do, and I love when they do because your ring finger is the softest finger on your hand. And you want to use it to press in the product. Not only is it smooth, but it also melts it in and gets rid of any lines. A better beauty blender, like the beauty blenders are great because of the sponginess, but your finger pads have that same feeling, but they're warm. So it melts it into the skin. Again, your skin is porous and you want to press it in. Otherwise it won't last as long. This is a way you can repurpose your makeup. I have two blushes. They don't exist together. They don't live together at all. Neither of them are my color. This one is too red. This one is screaming neon. And I just want to play around and see what these two blushes look like together. Maybe you ordered the wrong one. Maybe the color isn't right for you and you want the right color. What you need to do is create that color for you. So we're going to see what this looks like if we put them together. Taking my blush brush, we're going to mix And I'm hoping I kind of get this like soft rosy color, which is exactly what I'm getting, and it's beautiful. I honestly love these little cream blushes when I have time because I think they last longer and I like the control and I like being able to create my own colors. The other thing I do is flip back and forth. So I'll use my contour end and I'll kind of like blend the blush in because it doesn't have the blush on it, but it'll kind of warm it up and then it will add that contour into the blush. And I feel like mixing those two colors, because they live so close together, makes it make sense. Love by Rare Beauty, and this one is Baby Dew Blush from Say. These don't look like they work together, but on my face, it's perfect. This is the Makeup by Mario palette in Masters the Neutrals. We have this soft taupey color, this brown, like I think this is such a good palette because you can really make your own color in like a one brush does it all kind of user. Like I don't like using a ton of brushes for my eyeshadow. I think it just make your crease feel a little bit darker and move on. Between steps, makeup artists use a setting spray. This is the Airbrush Filter Setting Spray from Charlotte Tilbury. Revive your skin, make it all melt together. The blush, the contour, the foundation, the primer, everything just kind of sets. And this way you have better longevity. You don't have to use as much powder. The next step a makeup artist taught me is to always use a light pink color under your eyes and then use like a translucent or a slightly colored for the rest of the face. So using the Makeup by Mario Fair Pink setting powder, it's my favorite that I've ever used. And then using a brush like this. This is the best powder brush. I don't know how to tell you. Nikki LaRose N14. So we have N16 for concealer, N14 for powder, and I prefer the entire kit. Like I use almost every single brush in that kit of 7. So I recommend just investing in the entire thing. They're the best and pretty fair price. Filling in the brows, this is my Refi Brow Pencil in color light. Tiny little hair strokes, the direction that your hair naturally grows. Don't go overboard. Don't draw on a hard line. Hold the pencil further to the end. Next tip, getting super close to your face makes it look a lot worse when you take a mirror away and you look at it from a distance. There's something about doing your brows from far away that actually makes it look better in real life. If you're super close, you just look at tiny details and you go a little overboard and overfill. So further away is definitely better. One of the best brow gels by one of my favorite makeup artists is this one from Anastasia Beverly Hills. And it's just a clear brow gel. It holds, it's really lightweight, it's not too heavy, and it doesn't look flaky or dry or crusty on the brows. So this one is the best. Remember that all of my products are always linked in my bio, always linked in the caption. You always ask me what I'm talking about, what I'm using. I link the color and I link the product. And if I forget one, please forgive me, but I do try my best. Lashes, make sure we're always curling. Whenever makeup artists don't do that to me, I'm feeling just not alive. So if you're a makeup artist and you're watching this, please curl my lashes. I have more new products that I forgot to use. Another Makeup by Mario. This was the palette that we used. They came out with these little eyeshadow things. So I'll make a short and like test these out and see what they look like, but they're so pretty. Also new from NARS, this is some new mascara. So we're gonna test it out for the first time together. Something makeup artists you don't really think about is that because they're sanitary, they're literally never using the actual wand on these mascaras. They're just using a spoolie. So something I recommend to invest in if I were you and I had this in my office on my desk all the time. I have on deck Q-tips and I have spoolies. These are things that live in their kits, obviously, and I also have a little tin of baby wipes here. These spoolies I just use. You can wash them, you can use them again, you can bend them, you can use it for your brows or your mascara, whatever. This is a brand new tube of mascara. It is going to be so thick and I don't want it to be too heavy. This is black, I want to use brown. Loving this spoolie. It must have just launched, the Notorious Mascara Infamous Brown. I try not to blink when I do my mascara. Just keep my eye line very neutral and just work the brush in. It's so hard to find a brown that's not too light, that's not too dark, that's not too red. This just kind of is perfect. Bend it like this. You can just go in and fan it out. The next step is to wipe off your lip balm. The lip liner I'm going to be using today is Mary Phillips MPH in color Cherry Cola. It's a little bit too dark for me and I want to show you my technique to get it to look perfect. So a sharpened liner, you're going to make almost like a pout with your lips. No, my lips aren't filled. I keep telling people that. So the technique here is to take the liner above your lip line only in the center and below your lip line in the center. Think of it like a contour, like a shadow. You're building out dimension versus lining your lips. So the last thing I want to do is take this deep Cherry Cola lip liner and put it all over my lips. It's not the right shade for me. It is too dark. Use a brown, use a shadow, use a cool toned liner that's a little bit warm, a little bit cool. Kind of, this is just perfect because it has all the things. And then use your ring finger to just blot and blend and shade out that line. The new and improved way to use a liner, and this is something I've learned, is just to give you the illusion of overlined lips without fully overlining. What I hate is when I see liner like fully over and outside of the lip, and honestly, makeup artists do that. I don't like it. Like the look is just bad, especially for me having big lips already. I don't need a whole overline moment. It's like the Cupid's bow and the bottom of the underlip, just a little bit. This might be too dark. What do? We take our ring finger, see how my lips just look a little bit more pursed or like opened. Maybe that's why people think I have fake lips, is because I line it this way. This is my shade. This is going to bring out the lightness in my blush, and it's going to also complement my eyes. This is the Clarins Lip Perfector. It has a very like soft felt type tip. So just going to squeeze out a little bit of the product. And I love just having a translucent, soft baby pink on the inside of my lips, and not too much overkill. It's perfectly glossy. It's not too shiny. It's really, really hydrating. Now is when I use my powder products. I have a bronzer from Say in color Palmero. It's my favorite bronzer that I own. And I have also a very big fluffy brush from them, pressing it in. That way you set the outsides of your face, you add a little bit of depth, you don't need much, and that's all I'm gonna add. And for powder blush, my favorite all-time holy grail powder blush that I own is this one from House Labs. This is in color Hibiscus Haze. It has no shimmer, but it's not matte. It's very beautiful, and it just complements everything perfectly, and I feel like it's a really good blush color for everyone. So using a fluffy brush, this one is from Morphe M244. It makes your blush last longer. Powder blush just does. You don't need too much of it, just a kiss. Charlotte Tilbury setting spray again, just to melt it all together. We're fancy around here. This is a makeup artist's favorite highlighter palette, if not the Dior one as well. Every color in here is so beautiful on the skin and it looks very natural. So I'm just gonna use this Morphe brush, M202, swirl it into all of them, tap it off, and I'm just going to dust that over top of the cheek, and it just does something to the skin. It looks very natural. It's perfect for everyone of all ages. And you're left with a very soft, focused, blurred glow. We're glammed. I feel like this is more glam than I usually go. On which client I'm shooting with will depend on what kind of finish we're after, but this is definitely more on the kind of glam side. If we used a full face foundation, this is how it would look, and this is how it would look flawless on set as a model. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and I will see you in the next one.